Hello, this is a presentation by Team Balsam. I am Ocean and I will be talking about bioswales, rain gardens and their application to an urban environment. Bioswales and rain gardens are used to mimic natural water retention areas that collect rain and stormwater. Rain gardens were originally an idea made by Dick Brinker, who is designing houses in Prince George's County, Maryland. This idea was meant to replace a stormwater pond with bioretention area. This system proved to be very cost-effective and resulted in a 75 to 80% reduction in stormwater runoff. Bioswales are an idea for managing runoff. These are mainly meant to filter the runoff water from roofs, driveways, and roads before releasing the water back to rivers and lakes. There is minimal information as to where a bioswale was first introduced, but it was most likely related to building rain gardens which could manage stormwater. Bioswales and rain gardens are specialty landscapes that are built for stormwater management. In an urban setting, we can see these types of systems in yards and along roads. Rain gardens can be found in multiple people's front or backyards to manage runoff from roofs and decks. Mainly using native species of plants, these areas are mostly dry and will only hold water for a couple of days, being a max of 48 hours. These will not connect to waterways, so most of the water will infiltrate into the soil. Bioswales are built for the same purpose, but will be found along parking lots, roads, and beside driveways. These systems are meant to control runoff and filter the water before it gets into the groundwater or natural waterways. Like rain gardens, it will only hold water for a limited amount of time. Excess water will go directly into the pipes going straight to a river without being filtered. They will also have native plants as these areas are mainly dry. Rain gardens and bioswales are mainly a stormwater management system used in cities. They reduce the amount of polluted runoff after a rainfall and will filter the water before it reaches the rivers. These systems also get used to prevent flooding in basements as the water gets used by the plants before getting close to the foundation. Using native species of plants increases habitat for birds and predatory insects. These fancy landscapes also reduce erosion on the soil, making yards and roads last longer. Rain gardens and bioswales are also much more affordable than curbs. These specialty landscapes are highly effective in filtering and reducing runoff that enters rivers. There is a high reduction in runoff, which protects the environment and does not introduce pollutants to natural waterways. Bioswales are mostly found in areas along roads, highways, and parking lots. These areas are going to have the pollutants that have a larger impact on the environment. Bioswales are mostly built in these places because of high runoff of stormwater and will not hold water for any long period of time. One place that a bioswale will not be built is near gas stations, as these areas have pollutants that plants and bacteria cannot break down. The chemicals around gas stations are also easier to control through regular cleaning. Rain gardens are mainly located in yards, parks, and golf courses. A rain garden is meant to control runoff of roofs and driveways. These areas will have less pollutants and do not do the same level of filtering. Being a good way to manage stormwater, rain gardens also have an aesthetic interest. The plants are usually native and require little maintenance, meaning there's less cost for citizens and businesses. One of the main challenges for using these specialty landscapes is a possible increase in weeds. For the first couple of years, as the plants are getting established, weeds may outcompete for the nutrients, causing damage to the preferred plants. Choosing plants that are native will outcompete the weeds and will last for a longer time. Another challenge is cost. The price can vary widely depending on how the landscape is built. If done by yourself, the main cost will be on the plants. If a company is hired, the cost may increase greatly as there is more work involved. Lastly, sizing will be a factor to consider where the landscape is built, as it can be in the way for doing other work. There are many benefits to using specialty landscapes like bioswales and rain gardens. First, these are a great idea for stormwater management. They can reduce the risk of flooding in basements and filter out the pollutants that could be in stormwater runoff. Reducing runoff also decreases erosion on the soil. Second, these landscapes are aesthetically pleasing in yards and along roadways. Using more plants in cities makes a greener environment and is more enjoyable for people to walk around. Third, the plants used are native and require little maintenance. By using native species, we increase habitat for animals and insects, reducing the impact we have on the natural environment. Lastly, the water lasts for short periods of time, reducing the areas for mosquitoes to reproduce, and attracts dragonflies, which can also control the copulation. In cities and towns, there may be legislation regarding building a bioswale or rain garden. If one of these landscapes is wanted, check the regulations on the project. Mainly, there's a requirement for separation from the groundwater. This separation is meant to keep the groundwater clean and allow proper infiltration of the stormwater. Another common regulation is timing for the water to infiltrate. This should not exceed 48 hours, reducing stagnant water, which attracts biting insects. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed.